Welcome to the Bernitha Rena Relates Podcast. I'm your host, Bernitha Rena. In this powerful conversation, I sit down with Lady Chap, founder of Her NEXX Chapter, to talk purpose, passion, and stepping into what's next. She's on a mission to help women rise. And this episode is full of wisdom, warmth, and the inspiration you didn't even know you needed. Let's get ready for what's next. Lady Chap, I am so excited to have you here. You are just one of my favorites. I look up to you. You offer so much encouragement. I'm just beyond excited that you would come on my little podcast. I want to welcome you to the Bernitha Rena Relates Podcast.
Thank you so much. And nothing is too little. Thank you for inviting and supporting Her NEXX Chapter.
As I mentioned, I just admire you and love you so much. But yeah, I want to know about who you were before you became Lady Chap. So can you take me back to your early years, who you were before you became the Lady Chap?
First of all, I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, raised primarily in Inglewood to a single mom. And my mom was my hero, my mentor. She was my all. She was an amazing, amazing woman. But coming from a single mother with very little network in California, we struggled. But she helped me to develop into a very strong woman. I had to learn to build my own confidence in myself, to be very transparent. I'm very dyslexic. And for a very long time, throughout my adulthood, I kept that as a deep hidden secret. And then finally, I would say about 3 years ago, I think it came about when my mom passed because I lost my mom 5 years ago. I was ready to release anything that was holding me hostage. And one of them was to expose and tell my story the way I want my story to be told, as opposed to allowing someone else to tell my story for me. So Her NEXX Chapter is in the process, or have been in the process of writing a book on Her NEXX Chapter wellness. And I had to tell my own story. And part of releasing that was talking about being dyslexic, because for so long I was held hostage, but I was also embarrassed. And I thought that I was embarrassed and I was afraid of being judged. So for so long, and most of my adulthood, I was hiding that big, huge secret. And I finally released it. And I tell you, that took so much off my plate, especially when I discovered famous people like Einstein was dyslexic. In 2009, I was going through a major transition. I had a very high power job in corporate America, making a lot of money. And I didn't realize until I was unfortunately let go, fired, to be truthful, accused of doing something I did not do.
Wow.
I didn't realize until after I lost that job that my self-worth was tied up into my job, my income, and my title. And so for some people, losing a job can feel like death. So I went through depression, trying to rediscover myself, trying to start a new path, not sure where to go. And so then in 2010, I started longing to be supportive for women. And it probably was my way of supporting myself. But they say if you take the focus off of yourself and put that into someone else or invest it in someone else, I like to say in God's daughters, it removes the pain and help you get through whatever you're going through at the time. So at the same time, I was also transitioning into menopause. So that's a whole different animal,
That's a whole
different
story.
podcast.
Yeah.
And I call it mental pause.
Oh, wow.
Because it mentally can be devastating or a struggle. In 2010, I really wanted to do something that would empower women. God laid this vision. I didn't know how I was going to do it. I had a very very close friend. Her name was Michelle. Everyone has at least one or two cheerleaders in their life.
Right.
And no matter what you do or how crazy it sounds, they're cheering you on. They're going to support you. And she was one of them. I have about 3 or 4. And so I bounced this idea and I said, hey, Michelle, I don't know what it's going to look like or how I'm going to get started, but I want to do something that empowers women. And so she was my thinker. She said, well, you need 3 things. She said, you have to have a vision, you have to have a story to tell, and you have to have a purpose. And I said, well, I got the vision. I said, I'm not sure if I have the purpose other than to try to empower women. And I don't have a story really to tell. And I wasn't thinking about losing my job and going through that phase. And so she said, okay, well, I'm going to help you. And I'm going to put together some ideas on paper, blah, blah, blah. And so she sent me some of her ideas. And in that email, she said, I have to go for treatment. But after I get back from the doctor, let's connect and get together on this. And I said, okay. So long story short, she lives in the same building as my mom. And so I went to LA. And again, I'm in the process of trying to figure this vision and purpose and story. And so Michelle told me that day, I'll never forget, it was a day after I had arrived to LA, that she had breast cancer and it was stage 4. I remember her telling me that devastating news and I just screamed. And at that point, I put my vision and what I want to do with the women empowerment. I'm getting ready to tear up. Here I go. And I just wanted to be there for her. You know, I'll never forget this. I remember I was taking her to her treatments, but I was so focused on my own personal life crises. I remember having lunch and she said, what's going on with you? And I told her, and she said, hey, let me know what I can do. Now, she's already dealing with life and death. She said, let me know what I can do for you so you can be here for me.
Wow.
And that was so profound. And I'll never forget that for the rest of my life, being in the moment for her. And unfortunately, she didn't survive the breast cancer. And life went on. And so 2011, 2012, 2015 came. And I kept saying, I'm going to start my organization. But then I found myself having excuses. And my excuses were, I don't have the support. I don't have any volunteers. I don't have the money. I don't have the tools that I need to do this. And God started poking me, you know, and when you have a calling on your life, don't put it on hold. You know, don't try to work out all the details. Step out on faith. And finally, God was waking me up in my sleep. I was having dreams about this organization. And finally, he just said to me, your excuses have expired. Get up and move. And so I just stepped out and just started pulling it together. And all of a sudden, women started coming. Suzanne and Cheryl were the first. It was the 3 musketeers. So we laughed because we did so much just between the 3 of us. You know, God made it very clear that this organization would develop into what it is and what it will become because of the women, not because it was my vision, not because I'm the CBO of Her NEXX Chapter. It will be the women. And that's exactly why it is what it is today. And the women that have come from all over the world, UK, Brazil, all over. At one point, we had volunteers representing 13 different countries outside the United States.
Amazing.
And from different walks, different cultures, different age group. We started having that exposure once we decided to go virtual in 2019, before COVID existed. And then this year, we've been focusing on an in-person conference for women that's taken on a whole different life of its own, centered around God, that's supporting and providing a platform for women on so many different levels and so many different topics. So wellness is the wholeness of a woman, mentally, physically, a woman that is a mother, a sister, a auntie, a coworker, because as women, we carry so much. And at the end of the day, we're scraping the crumbs that's left for us because we're always the one that's trying to support as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife, as a friend. You know, we're always there trying to support. So that's how Her NEXX Chapter came about. And it helped me to grow as a woman, as an individual. It helped me to be a better supporter, a better leader. Her NEXX Chapter is not just externally supporting women. Our platform is very transparent and it provides on-the-job training. So we have a lot of women that are stay-home moms that want to either get back into the workforce or empty nests, or women from different countries that are here in the United States and they need job experience. They need a local reference in the United States. So we provide the platform for women to sharpen their skills. I like to say on our playground.
Love it. Love it. Another thing I love is your title, CVO. I don't think that's anything I've ever heard before. What does that stand for and how did you come up with this amazing title?
Chief Visionary Officer. And I never heard of it either until Suzanne said, "You're a visionary. You're not a CFO. You're a visionary." I've always been a visionary, even as a child. And I think that's the gift. And I'm not claiming to be a psychic or anything like that. Please don't get that wrong. But God has planted, visions where I can see things that I want or should accomplish. And then it's a matter of him providing the platform and the timing for me to execute. I know I'm not the only one that they see grand things, but you still need God to provide the provision
That's right.
in order for you to execute. And you still need the backing and the support to put your vision in execution. Now, you can have a great vision, great ideas, but if you don't have the support like I have, all the women and men behind me supporting Her NEXX Chapter that can take it and execute it because they believe in it as well. It's just a vision. One thing I have learned throughout Her NEXX Chapter, I will see something and I'll immediately want to put it into action and then it doesn't work out. And then I would say, oh, well, I guess I had that wrong, or maybe I misread or thought that must have been a bad idea. But what God has taught me throughout the years is that sometimes he'll plant a vision, but it may not necessarily be time to execute that vision right at that moment. So don't throw it out.
Sure.
I've learned to just put it on hold, put it on the shelf, and he will reveal the timing to you, because I've so many ideas and I thought it was a bad idea. And then all of a sudden God provides the platform or the resources like, oh, okay, so it wasn't a bad idea. It just wasn't ready to be birthed.
Wow, that is so amazing, Lady Chap. And it's also just personally encouraging. It's only until you said that I thought of this, is that I've had many visions of things that still have yet to happen. I didn't really understand them. One being that I'd be a mother of two. I currently have one, but I've had visions of holding a newborn baby. Many years, me doing everything in my power, no baby. But I asked the Lord, well, why do you keep showing me this baby? Just leave me alone with it, What you just said to me, it's really encouraging, because even though he will give you the vision, he will also determine the timing, and you can't push and you can't rush that. Another vision that I've had for many years, as long as I can remember, and this might sound really crazy to you and probably to anyone listening, is being on a stage in front of millions of people. Little bitty country me. And I'm like, Lord, I do not understand this. I do not understand why you keep giving me this vision. I too had tied my own self-worth into my work, into my finances, into my success. And when I wasn't successful, I was severely depressed. If one manager didn't like some presentation, it would just throw me on a roller coaster. And I finally realized I can't live like this. And so that's when I discovered I've got to separate myself from quote unquote success. And when I decided to start a podcast, and I had talked about it for a while, when I made the decision, I was going to move forward with it. And who knows, this could be the last episode I ever record. It doesn't matter. But I'm telling you, it was literally like a key went into a lock and it just turned. And everything in my life, everything I had been through, it all made sense. This is the path. What happens after this, I don't care. But I'm walking and where he's taking me, okay? to me, it doesn't matter if the whole vision of being on a stage talking to millions of people, that is of no concern of mine. What does make me happy is to feel like, okay, I'm going down the direction that he's taking me on. And so what you just said was very encouraging. I do have another question for you, though. You talked a lot about your team and the people that support you. How did these relationships come about?
Well, good question. And then I want to talk about you because I can't let that pass. Because what you said is really important. God put them in my path. Once I finally became obedient to my calling, when you're on that career path and everything, you're self-serving. I realized that I wasn't put on this earth to self-serve. I was put on this earth to serve God and do what he wants me to do.
That's right.
And that is serving his daughters. That's my calling. And the interesting thing is that some of us never discover our calling. Some are born knowing their calling. I really admire those and take them to almost 60 to discover or step into their calling. Then unfortunately, some people died never knowing what their calling was or stepping into it. So once I was obedient, all of a sudden I started meeting women, and I met Cheryl first. And then 2 days later, I met Suzanne. And then they gave me the extra confidence that I needed to really move forward, because it's like now I have a team, you know, to get started. And they just pull up their sleeves and just was in it with me. And the interesting thing is, before I met Suzanne and Cheryl, I had decided on my birthday to give birth to Her NEXX Chapter. And I remember I invited associates and friends, about 8 of them. And they thought they were coming to celebrate me, to only realize I was there to celebrate them on my birthday. So they met me for brunch. I remember buying them each a bouquet of flowers, and each one had a quote, and each quote was different. And so when they came, they were like, oh my God, you're here celebrating us, and we're supposed to be celebrating you. And that's when I released the concept, because at that point it was just a concept. I didn't even have a name.
Okay.
And so I wanted to brainstorm and get, other women's, are you feeling the same as I'm feeling lost, feeling like you can't find your purpose? And only to discover that a lot of women were feeling that. And I'm talking about high power, they were all excited, and I thought they were going to go with me on this journey. And, and then I realized they weren't. And I remember feeling so disappointed. And again, this was before I met Suzanne and Cheryl. And I remember talking to this woman, and I remember telling her how disappointed I was. And she said something to me so profound, I'll never forget for the rest of my life. She said, oh, they were just the midwives. They were only here to help you deliver the baby. She said, did your doctor go home with you to help raise your son? And I was like, wow, okay. And then all of a sudden I met Suzanne and Cheryl, and women just kept coming and coming and coming. I have met some of the most amazing women since I started Her NEXX Chapter that I have ever come across in my entire life. I'm just like happy to be sitting at the table with them. I'm like, oh, this woman is so amazing. Oh, this woman gives me chills. I mean, just amazing. To address what you said is stop asking God to help you understand, because even the Bible said, do not lean upon your understanding. Just trust. And he will reveal whatever he has for you. And it took me a long time. I'm preaching to the choir, and I'm talking about late in my years, and I'm 64. Once I started saying, okay, God, I'm just going to trust in you. Just tell me what you want me to do. I stopped asking. I stopped saying I don't understand, because I was one of those, or help me to understand. My response is, God, okay, just tell me what you want me to do. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it.
Okay.
And when he did reveal things to me, it's like, oh, okay, let's get going. I'm ready. Okay.
Right.
Let me go ahead. No, Lady Chap, sit in the back seat and stop trying to drive the car. Okay. Don't try to do God's work. Don't try to help him move it along. That's not your job.
Okay.
For me, I can't even be in the passenger side, because if I'm on the passenger side, I'm going to try to tell God the shortcut.
Right.
You can get there fast if you go. He don't need me. Right. He needs me to be open and be still and listen and say, God, please use me as a vessel. However you want to use me with what you're showing me, just tell me what you want me to do so that I can be obedient to do it.
Okay.
Because when we step in, one, we're getting his way. And two, we can almost mess it up.
Right.
Because we're trying to do it our way and our understanding, as opposed to just releasing and just waiting on him to show us his way and how he wants us to do it. So I stopped saying, I don't understand, or help me to understand. I just started saying, God, okay, just tell me what you want me to do.
Okay.
You know, and that's letting him know you're making yourself available. But the exciting part is that he's revealing to you some amazing things and opportunities that he is going to put you in. That it's beyond your imagination. But let's not try to figure it out.
To your point, I'm going to have to sit in the back seat or maybe even the trunk, because I'm one of those, I'm talking the whole way. So that is wonderful, wonderful advice, encouragement. This is about you, but I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes and making it.
Oh, I have to.
I appreciate it. And what I got from it is, don't worry about the how, don't worry about the who, just sit back and enjoy the ride. And that's what I will continue to do, because listen, this is an incredible view. First of all, did you just say you're 64? Okay. I just want everyone to go on Instagram, go on hernextchapter.org and tell me if you really believe this woman is 64. There's absolutely no way.
Thank you for that encouragement. If I knew what I know now, even 10 or 20 years ago, whoa, I would have done a lot of things different. I've been an entrepreneur throughout my entire life. I started as an entrepreneur when I was in my early 20s, and I didn't succeed. And I used to say, oh, I failed. And I remember my best friend, Victoria, a very famous artist and a movie producer, she said, stop saying you failed. There's no such thing as failing. These are experiences that you have developed and added to your list. And trust me, you're going to go back and pull all these experiences that you think you failed. But God is preparing you for something in the future. And you're going to need some of those chapters in your past to bring forth. And you've learned from those mistakes. So that's why I always tell our volunteers, there's no such thing as a mistake on our platform.
Okay.
There might be a better way of doing things, but there's no such thing as a mistake. If you don't make any mistakes, how are you going to learn?
That's
you
right.
know? And I'd rather them make the mistakes on our platform as a volunteer. So when they do go to corporate America or when they do start their own business, they won't make the same mistakes because they got the experience and they learn from it.
That's good.
So let's not look at mistakes as a detriment to our life. Let's just look at it as a learning experience. And what did we learn and what can we take from it? And trust me, I am still learning. I tell my volunteers, don't get caught up on the founder or CVO. This organization is not about me and my personal agenda. I like to be behind the scene. Her next chapter, just like it says, her next chapter, not my next chapter.
Love it.
This organization is about serving her, you, me, and us as women. The woman that we're serving, I want her image. I want her story to be out there. I just want my story to be an inspiration, but it's not to boost up my ego or get social media attention and all of that. I don't even like taking pictures.
Same. I got the same 3 pictures that I've just circulated. No new pictures. Drake says, no new friends. I say, no new pictures. I'm just circulating the same 3 pictures. I'm not a big fan of that either. So tell me, what are you proud of today? I know you have so many things to be proud of, but if you just sat back and reflected on your life, what are some of the things that you'd say, I'm so proud of these things?
That's a good question. I have a lot of things I'm not proud of.
Don't we all?
I'm proud of being part of an organization that serves women. I'm proud of my child, my son. I'm proud of my 2 stepchildren. You know, they're doing amazing things as well. Of course, you're always proud of your family and things like that. But I'm really proud of being part of Her NEXX Chapter, not because I'm the founder, but because how it has helped me to grow as a person in my own life, in my own chapter. It has changed my life. It really has on so many different levels. I'm just proud to be part of something that serves and has God as the center of it. When I first started Her NEXX Chapter, I used the term, it's an empowerment organization. It's not that. It took me a long time to realize that it's a ministry.
Love it. Love it. Love it, Lady Chap. It is. It is. When I went to the luncheon last week, half the time I was busy crying because the stories that I heard, I felt God was right there.
Oh my God, was he? And it wasn't even about the agenda of trying to promote the conference. God woke me up early that morning. I started praying and I'm like, God, what message do you want for your daughter? And even driving to the Credit Union of Texas that generously hosts the luncheon for us and very supportive in the community. I was praying, what do you want to be revealed? And it was amazing how he showed up. We laughed, we cried, we connected. And you know, the interesting thing, at the beginning when we started, all the women came in, they sat at the table, they all were looking at their phones, they weren't socializing or connecting. But after the event, all those women started connecting and hugging each other and sharing information. And it was like a total different room. I had to push them. Ladies, we have to release this room for the next party that's coming. You know, you have to leave. And they didn't want to leave. They did not want to leave.
I agree. I left there with what I felt like the start of so many beautiful friendships. It was what we call a Texas goodbye, right? Where, you know, typically someone comes to your house, you say goodbye to them at the door, you say goodbye to them at the driveway. I was chatting with so many women in the elevator, in the lobby, walking each other to the car. We had a real Texas goodbye. So many women connected. I absolutely felt that too. And so that's another one of the reasons why I'm really looking forward to the conference, because I know the conference is going to have that same feel. So let's get into the conference. I'm excited to talk about that. What can we expect? What can they get excited about?
This conference is bigger than Lady Chap or Her NEXX Chapter or really anybody associated with it. We're just the messenger. It's 2 days. It's really 3 days. It's 2 days of keynote speakers and breakout session. The first day, the topics are financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and career. And one of our key speakers, Mira.
Right, Mira Ko.
She is a renowned worldwide speaker. And when you talk about a platform, she has an incredible story. She's extremely successful photographer. She has been a producer for Disney, and she has a very strong story. And what resonates with women and men and children is stories, you know?
Right.
Or somebody's past, somebody's present. That's what resonates, because they can say, wow, I can relate to this person. Wow, they've walked my journey. They live in my life. Was she in my house yesterday? Because she's talking to me. I don't know about the rest of y'all, or he is talking to me. So that is part of it. Then there's the breakout sessions with advisors, licensed coaches, counselors, based on what, you know, is important to you, whether starting a business, trying to figure out your existing business, trying to get your credit straightened out, trying to elevate your career, or just work on your finances, investment, and things like that. I'm facilitating a class the next day, which is wellness. One of our key speakers is Sabrina Greenlee. She has an amazing testimony, and you will be in tears. She is a domestic violence survivor. Her son is a famous football player.
You're referring to DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes, he's completed 2 Super Bowls. She has 4 successful children. And every time he makes a touchdown, he hands the ball to his mom because she's blind. Sabrina's blind. It's amazing what she believes, why she's blind, and how God is using her blindness to minister to so many people. We're having a panel of doctors that's going to speak to women's wellness and their health. And then we have breakout sessions. I'm facilitating a class on Medicare for caretakers and women that are aging. That is an animal in itself. My experience is in the healthcare industry, and it's interesting enough, I have a foundation that's serving women's wellness. Then we're having some fun because it is heavy, like a pajama party where we'll have live entertainment.
Fun.
We want to laugh. We want to do some line dancing. What they call it?
Boots on the ground. Boots
on the ground, and some singing and just celebrating each other's journey and celebrating each other's next chapter. The conference is called Inspire Her NEXX Chapter.
The dates of the Inspire Her NEXX Chapter conference is August 29th through August 31st, 2025, and it's taking place at the Hilton Anatole in Dallas, Texas. Is that right?
Right. And the tickets are very affordable. It's $75 a la carte or $125 for the 3 days. If a woman says, I'm only interested in the entrepreneurship and I want all the information and resources and workshops pertaining to that particular topic, that would be on Friday. But if they're like, I'm not an entrepreneur, I'm not a career woman, but I am definitely interested in wellness and how I can be a better person for myself and my family, that would be Saturday, the 30th. And it's a complete day of wellness. That $75 or $125 cover your lunch for both days or the day that you choose.
I'm really looking forward to Sunday, and that's August 31st, the last day of the conference, which is going to be really amazing. There's going to be a morning reflection, and Suzanne Stroman will be speaking about mastering your position. So I'm really looking forward to Sunday's session. I know that will be great as well.
Right. And we're having some amazing raffle and door prizes. I mean, amazing. I like to brag our swag bags, which is like a grocery bag. It's going to be just full of goodies. I'm a re-gift queen. You may want to take some of those goodies and wrap them up to give them as gifts. I guarantee you. I'm going to put myself out there. I guarantee you that if you say, I got nothing out of this conference, you seek me out. Now, I have been to events where I left and said, wow, that was a waste of my time. I feel like I got nothing out of that. But I guarantee you there is something for every woman that attends this conference, even if it may not be for you, but it's some informational resource that you didn't know that you definitely need to share with another woman that didn't attend.
Absolutely.
I guarantee.
Yeah. And I can attest to that because I went to a luncheon and I left changed, okay? Changed after a luncheon. So I can only imagine what this conference is going to be like, which is why, I will be there in the front row on all the days. And I am buying tickets up like crazy just to gift them. I'm giving them to my neighbors. I'm giving them to my friends. I'm just going to start handing them out to random women. That's how important this conference is. That's how excited I am about it. And so we hope that it is just sold out to the max. So I'm believing that for you. So
can I add one more thing?
Yes.
What we're finding as a culture of women, regardless if you're Black, Asian, white, Hispanic, whatever your nationality, I'm talking about as women, as mothers, as sisters, as co-workers, aunties, just as a woman, that there's a lot of things going on with our women, especially our younger generation of women. Social media doesn't help, but there's things that we are not sharing. There's topics that's taboo. Like, for instance, sex trafficking. I had no idea until 3 months ago that Texas is the main hub worldwide for sex trafficking. It is so out of control.
Oh, my goodness.
There's domestic violence. And I know these are heavy topics, but there's just, parenting, foster care. What is available for seed money for me to start a business? What resources are there? How can I connect with other women that are like-minded?
Sure.
What about my medical benefits, pre-65, post-65? I didn't realize certain things about my body as I am aging or transitioning. I'm feeling the way I'm feeling because there's things happening in my body that maybe I need to check out because I wasn't aware. I got this information. But let me go walk up to this doctor that's on this panel and ask them some questions. So we're providing workshops, information, resources, and also inspiration for anyone, regardless of her age and where she's at in her life.
Right. And what I'm hearing is, yes, this is a wonderful conference for women our age that are going through different transitions in life and that we can share and be resources for one another, which is so important. But something that is also incredibly important that I heard Lady Chap was, don't forget about the younger generations. There are things that may not be talked about in a home, or someone just may not feel comfortable discussing it, but these young ladies need to know it. And so, grab a niece, grab a daughter, grab a younger sister, grab a young neighbor, grab a young lady and bring her with you to this conference so that she could be educated on these really important topics that, frankly, just aren't being discussed as much as they need to be discussed. I'm glad you said that because, honestly, I had been giving the tickets to people 40 plus, but I'm just going to be honest. But I'm bringing my niece. I'm going to bring my niece. I'm glad.
Please do.
Yeah.
Please do. Because, with social media, everything's so superficial. This is a whole different dynamics compared to when I was growing up. This is a conference of self-discovery, and younger people are trying to identify and self-discover themselves based on what they see in social media. Or somebody said something, stop getting so caught up in reality TV and create your own reality.
Love it.
In life, don't consume your life with reality TV or social media. What is your own life? And I remember my Pastor Bam, Beverly Crawford from Los Angeles, used to say, wake up in the morning and design your own life.
I absolutely love it. So, Lady Chap, when it's all said and done, what do you want our listeners to know?
My best friend, Victoria, told me many years ago, never put a period where God has a comma. We're constantly supposed to add more pages to our chapter, add more chapters to our story, and reinventing ourselves. Don't let age or circumstances stop you. You have a journey, you have a calling as long as you are breathing on this earth. So we shouldn't just stop. And once I discovered Her NEXX Chapter, my next chapter, life really started to evolve because I could see a purpose. And I took myself out of the equation and just start focusing on serving other women. And it has been a tough journey. I'm not going to pretend like it's been an easy journey. We are a nonprofit, 501c3, but there has been tears. There's been frustration. There's like, oh God, why me? But why not me? So anything that you're trying to accomplish in your life, it's going to be a journey, but it creates a story. It creates chapters for you,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You mentioned at the luncheon that your mother had pearls and you collected pearls and had a bag full of pearls. And I was just thinking that is so fitting to who you are because you are just dropping pearl after pearl after pearl after pearl. And I'm taking notes. I am so grateful, appreciative, honored that you would spend some of your important time. You got a magnificent conference coming up next month, and you're taking time to be with us today.
And I just hope if you're not able to come to the conference, I hope some of the information that we shared just resonate in your heart. Sometimes it'll poke your spirit and like, wow, I don't understand why I'm feeling the way I am. Just pray on it. Like, God, it seemed like there was something on this podcast for me. Can you reveal what I'm supposed to learn? And I hope the listeners take something from today. I really, really do. It's not about you attending the conference. It's just about you, self-care, feeding your soul, just allowing God to move in your heart and your life.
And your life. Again, Lady Chap, thank you so much for being here today. I'm so grateful. Looking forward to seeing you at the conference.
Thank you.
And as we mentioned, we will be posting on Instagram at Her NEXX Chapter and at for Bernitha Rena Relates. more information about the luncheon that's going to be coming up. It's sponsored by the Credit Union of Texas. Wonderful community partners.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
They are amazing.
So helpful. They let me sneak in like 15 minutes early to set up my podcast stuff. So I was like, oh, you guys are so sweet. But just amazing group of individuals. I'm not even talking about the organization. I'm just talking about the people I met that day. And
oh my gosh.
just amazing people. So,
and we are looking for sister alignment for this conference. I forgot to mention that. Other existing, and they can be grassroots, women organization that already have an organic audience that would like to endorse the conference and allow us to even co-brand with them so that they can release the information to their audience. We would love that. We welcome that. If you do want more information that you would like to receive from us, you can go to our website, which is Her NEXX Chapter.org. So it's NEXX is not spelled the normal way. NEXT is spelled NEXX.org because we are a nonprofit organization. If you like to just reach out and say, hey, Lady Chap, you can send me a message through hello@HerNEXXChapter.org.
Perfect. Thank you again so much. It was a pleasure. So many pearls dropped. Can't wait to see you at the luncheon. Can't wait to see you at the conference. Thank you, love, so much. Lady Chap is a testament to the truth that the next chapter doesn't wait for confidence. It just needs courage. She was willing to do it scared, and because of that bold step, help found her along the way. If you're standing at the edge of something new, take that step anyway. You never know who's waiting on the other side to walk alongside you. Please remember to follow me at Instagram at Bernitha Rena Relates and Facebook at Bernitha Rena Relates. And of course, like, subscribe, and share this podcast anywhere you listen to your podcast. Thanks for listening. I love you for it. We'll talk soon.
What's been done is done again. Same old story, different pen. Yeah. We make mistakes, trying to learn from what life takes. We make mistakes, trying to learn from what life takes. Let's contemplate, can we relate? Under the sun, it all feels the same. You and me, just different names. Let's contemplate, can we relate? Yeah. Let's contemplate.